We live in a reality that feels tangible, concrete, and unchangeable, but what if I told you that everything you see, everything you touch, and everything you believe is just a reflection of your mind? What if I told you that you have the power right now, in this moment, to bend your reality, to reshape it in ways that might seem impossible to others, but are completely within your reach? You might think, that sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. But ancient wisdom has known this secret for thousands of years. This isn't about magic or illusions. It's about something far deeper, something buried in the very fabric of your consciousness. And today we're going to unravel that secret together. You see, there's an ancient technique that has been passed down through generations, hidden in the teachings of esoteric schools, whispered among sages, and practiced in secret by the most enlightened beings. It's something that can reprogram your mind so profoundly that your external world starts to shift in ways that will blow your mind. And I'm not talking about small changes. I'm talking about instant transformations in your reality. But before we dive into the technique itself, we need to start with something more fundamental. How do you perceive reality in the first place? Think about it. Every experience you've ever had, whether it was joyful, painful, or indifferent, was processed by your mind. Your mind filtered it, interpreted it, gave it meaning. But here's the kicker: your mind doesn't just interpret reality, it creates it. The thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, the emotions you feel, these are not passive responses to the world. They are active forces shaping the world around you.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Let me ask you something profound. If your mind is the architect of your reality, then who are you really? Are you the sum of your past experiences? Or are you something far greater? The moment you start to question this, the moment you start to realize that your identity and your external world are not fixed, is the moment you begin to awaken. And once you awaken, you can start to bend the fabric of reality itself. Now, this might sound abstract, but let me make it practical. Imagine for a moment that you're walking through a forest. The trees are towering above you, the ground is soft beneath your feet, and you feel a gentle breeze on your skin. In this moment, your mind is processing everything around you. But what if I told you that your perception of the forest is entirely subjective? The colors you see, the sounds you hear, the sensations you feel, they're all filtered through your mind, shaped by your beliefs, your past experiences, and your expectations. Here's an even deeper question. What if the forest itself changes based on your perception? What if the reality of the forest is not fixed, but fluid, malleable, depending on your mental state? This is where the ancient reprogramming technique comes in. The sages understood that by altering the programming of the mind, you can alter the structure of reality. It's as if your mind is a lens, and by adjusting the angle of the lens, you can see an entirely different world. So, how do we begin to bend reality? The first key is to become aware of what's currently programming your mind. Most people don't realize that their thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are not truly their own. They've been conditioned by society, by family, by culture. Every day you're bombarded with information, news, social media, advertisements that shapes how you think and what you believe is possible. And here's the problem: most of this programming is disempowering. It tells you that you're limited, that you can't change your circumstances, that you have to play by the rules of this fixed, rigid reality. But what if you could break free of that programming? What if you could strip away the layers of conditioning and access a deeper part of your mind, one that knows no limits, one that understands the true nature of reality? This is where the ancient mind reprogramming technique comes into play. Before we go further, Let me ask you what beliefs are holding you back from bending your reality. Think about it. What stories do you tell yourself every day? That you're not good enough. That abundance is scarce. That happiness is something you have to chase. These beliefs are just programs running in your mind, and they're keeping you stuck in a version of reality that doesn't serve you. But here's the good news: you can change them. The first step in this technique is to become aware of the thought patterns that are shaping your current reality. You need to start observing your thoughts without judgment and recognize the patterns. Notice how often you think thoughts that reinforce a limited version of yourself. Notice how often you focus on what's wrong, on what's lacking, on what's not possible. Your thoughts are powerful vibrations, and they're sending out signals to the universe, which in turn reflects those vibrations back to you in the form of your reality. So here's the practice for the next 24 hours. I challenge you to become hyper-aware of your thoughts. Pay attention to every thought that arises and ask yourself, is this thought creating the reality I want to experience? If the answer is no, don't judge it, just let it go. This is the first step in reprogramming your mind, becoming conscious of the unconscious patterns that have been running your life. But awareness alone isn't enough. To truly bend reality, you need to go deeper. You need to install new programs into your mind, programs that align with the reality you want to create. And the way to do this is through a powerful combination of visualization, emotion, and repetition. I'll explain this in more detail in the next part, but for now I want you to start with awareness. Because without awareness, you can't change anything. So let me ask you, are you ready to become the conscious creator of your reality? So, now that you've started to become aware of the thought patterns shaping your reality, we're ready to go deeper. This is where the real magic happens. Awareness is the foundation, but to bend your reality, you need to actively reprogram your mind. And the way to do this is through a powerful trifecta of techniques: visualization, emotion, and repetition. Let's start with visualization. You've probably heard about visualization before, but let me assure you, this isn't some superficial think positive and everything will be fine kind of thing. Visualization is a deeply spiritual and ancient practice, one that taps into the very essence of how your mind creates reality. In fact, ancient cultures knew that imagination is not just fantasy, it's the blueprint for reality. The mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you visualize with intense clarity and focus, you are literally reprogramming your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is the part of your mind that governs 95% of your thoughts, actions, and behaviors, and it's where your deepest beliefs are stored. By visualizing the reality you want to create, you are sending powerful new instructions to your subconscious. And here's the amazing part: your subconscious mind takes these instructions and starts working behind the scenes to make them a reality. Now, here's a deep question for you. What is the reality you truly want to experience? Not the one you think you should want, not the one society tells you to want, but the one your soul craves. This is important because if your visualization isn't aligned with your deepest desires, it won't have the same power. You need to get crystal clear on what you want your life to look like. And don't be afraid to dream big. The only limits are the ones you impose on yourself. Once you've identified the reality you want to create, the next step is to visualize it in vivid detail. Imagine it as if it's already happening. See yourself living the life you desire, experiencing the abundance, the joy, the freedom, the love that you want. Use all of your senses in this visualization. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What can you touch? the more vivid and detailed your visualization, the more powerful it will be. But here's the key: visualization alone is not enough. You need to pair it with emotion. This is where most people fall short. They visualize what they want, but they do it in a flat, detached way. They're just going through the motions. But emotion is the fuel that powers your visualization. It's the vibration that sends your intentions out into the universe. Here's how it works: the universe responds to your energy, not just your thoughts. When you feel deeply, when you connect to the emotion of your desired reality, you are broadcasting a powerful signal to the universe. That signal says, "This is my reality. This is what I'm creating," and the universe will respond to that vibration by aligning circumstances, people, and opportunities to match it. So when you visualize, I want you to feel the emotions you would feel if that reality were already here. How would you feel if you were living your dream life? Would you feel joy, gratitude, freedom, excitement? Tap into those emotions as deeply as you can. Let them flood your body. The more you can feel the emotions of your desired reality, the faster you'll start to see shifts in your external world. Let me ask you, how often do you allow yourself to truly feel the emotions of the life you want? Most people are so caught up in their current reality that they never take the time to feel what it would be like to live their dream life. But this is the secret to bending reality. You have to feel it before you see it. You have to become a vibrational match for the reality you want to create. And that means feeling the emotions of that reality right now, even if your external circumstances don't reflect it yet. Now, the third key is repetition. This is where most people give up. They try visualization and emotion for a few days or maybe even a week, but when they don't see immediate results, they get discouraged and quit. But here's the thing: reprogramming your mind takes time and consistency. You've spent years, maybe even decades, reinforcing the old programs that are shaping your current reality. It's going to take more than a few days of visualization to overwrite those programs. You need to do it consistently, every single day. Think of it like this: your mind is like a garden. If you've been planting weeds for years, you can't expect to plant a few flowers and have an instant transformation. You need to consistently plant new seeds and tend to them every day. Over time, the weeds will start to die off, and the flowers will begin to bloom. The same is true for reprogramming your mind. Every time you visualize your desired reality with emotion, you're planting a new seed in your subconscious mind. And with enough repetition, those seeds will grow into the reality you want to experience. So, here's what I want you to do: commit to this practice every day for the next 30 days. Every morning, before you start your day, take 10 to 15 minutes to visualize your desired reality in vivid detail. Feel the emotions of that reality as deeply as you can, and then let it go. Trust that the universe is working behind the scenes to bring it to you. Don't worry about how or when it will happen. Just trust that it will. And here's the beautiful part: as you start to reprogram your mind, you'll begin to notice small shifts in your reality almost immediately. You'll start to attract new opportunities, new people, and new circumstances that align with your vision. The more you practice, the bigger these shifts will become. But remember, patience is key. Bending reality doesn't always happen overnight. It's a process, and the more consistent you are with it, the more profound the results will be. So don't get discouraged if you don't see massive changes right away. Trust the process. Trust that every time you visualize with emotion and repetition, you're planting powerful seeds that will bloom in divine timing. Now, let me ask you one final question for this part. Are you willing to commit to reprogramming your mind every day? knowing that you have the power to bend your reality. Now that you've begun the practice of visualization, tapping into emotion, and applying repetition, there's another critical element that we need to master: letting go. This is perhaps one of the most paradoxical and yet powerful aspects of bending your reality. You might be thinking, wait, how can I pursue my vision with intensity and at the same time let it go? And that's a great question. But here's the deeper truth: attachment to the outcome is what blocks the manifestation of your desires. To truly bend reality, you must learn to let go of the need for things to unfold in a specific way and on your timeline. Let's talk about why this is so important. When you're attached to a particular outcome, you're sending out a signal of lack. You're essentially telling the universe, I don't have this yet, and I need it to feel fulfilled. And here's the problem: the universe responds to your energy, not just your words or your thoughts. If you're energetically broadcasting a signal of lack or desperation, the universe will reflect that back to you. It will give you more of what you're feeling: more lack, more waiting, more distance between you and your desires. So, how do you let go while still holding a clear vision of what you want? This is where we need to shift our perspective. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on your desires. It means detaching from the need for them to happen in a specific way or within a specific time frame. It means trusting that the universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, is orchestrating things behind the scenes in ways that are far more intelligent and aligned than we could ever imagine. Here's a deep question for you. Do you trust that what you want is already on its way to you? Think about that. Do you truly believe that the universe is working in your favor, even if you can't see the results yet? This is the essence of letting go. It's about having faith in the unseen. It's about knowing that your desires are already being fulfilled, even if the physical evidence hasn't shown up yet. Let me give you an analogy. Imagine you're planting a seed in the ground. You water it, you give it sunlight, and you take care of it. But you don't stand over the seed every day, demanding that it grow faster. You don't dig it up to see if it's sprouting yet. You trust that, in time, the seed will grow. You know that it's a natural process, and you allow it to unfold at its own pace. The same is true for manifesting your desires. Once you've planted the seed through your visualization, emotion, and repetition, you need to step back and let the universe do its work. But here's where it gets tricky. The mind loves to control. It loves to obsess over how things are going to happen and when they're going to happen. It wants to micromanage the entire process. And when things don't seem to be happening on our timeline, the mind starts to panic. Doubt creeps in. Fear takes over. And that's when we start to block our own manifestations. We interfere with the natural flow of things by trying to force outcomes, and in doing so, we create resistance. So, how do we stop this cycle? How do we let go of the need to control and trust the process? The key is to shift your focus from the outcome to the present moment. Instead of obsessing over when your desires will manifest or how they'll come into being, focus on being fully present in this moment. Ask yourself, how can I bring joy, peace, and gratitude into my life right now? Because here's the truth: the more you enjoy the present moment, the faster your desires will manifest. Why? Because when you're fully present, you're in alignment with the flow of the universe. You're no longer resisting. You're no longer trying to control. You're simply allowing. And this brings us to a powerful practice: gratitude for what is and what's yet to come. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrations you can emit. When you feel grateful, you're telling the universe, I trust you. I trust that everything is unfolding perfectly. and I'm thankful for what I have right now. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance. It reminds you that, even if your desires haven't fully manifested yet, there's still so much to be grateful for. And here's the powerful part: when you feel grateful for your desires, as if they've already manifested, you accelerate the manifestation process. Let me ask you, can you find gratitude in the waiting? Can you be grateful for the journey even before you reach the destination? This is a powerful shift in perspective. When you stop seeing waiting as a negative thing and start seeing it as an essential part of the process, everything changes. Waiting becomes a time of preparation, a time of growth, a time of alignment. And the more aligned you are, the faster your desires will flow to you. Another important aspect of letting go is to detach from the how. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to manifest their desires is that they get too attached to how things should unfold. They visualize a specific path or a specific set of circumstances, and when things don't go according to that plan, they start to doubt the process. But here's the thing: the universe is infinitely more intelligent than we are. It has 1,000 ways to bring your desires to you, ways that you might never have imagined. When you're too focused on one specific path, you might miss the opportunities that are being presented to you from unexpected directions. So, let go of the need to know how it will happen. Instead, stay open to the infinite possibilities that the universe has in store for you. Trust that things are working out in your favor, even if they don't look exactly like you expected. The how is not your job. Your job is to stay aligned, to stay in a state of gratitude, and to trust the process. Let me ask you one final question for this part. Are you willing to let go of the need to control and trust that the universe has a better plan for you than you could ever imagine? This is the ultimate act of surrender, to trust that everything is working out for your highest good, even when you can't see it yet. Now that you've learned how to let go and trust the process, you're ready for the next phase, becoming the architect of your reality. This is about taking everything you've learned so far: awareness, visualization, emotion, repetition, and letting go, and using it to sustain and expand your ability to consciously shape the world around you. You're no longer just reacting to life, you're creating it. But how do you maintain this power? How do you ensure that you're constantly evolving, constantly refining your ability to bend reality in ways that serve your highest potential? Here's the first truth we need to grasp: reality is not static. It's fluid, ever-changing, and it responds to the energy you're putting out at every moment. But most people live as if reality is fixed, like their circumstances are set in stone, like they're at the mercy of forces beyond their control. You are not most people. You're waking up to the fact that you have a hand in shaping your reality. But here's the thing: this isn't a one-time event. It's not like you reprogram your mind once and then coast on autopilot for the rest of your life. Bending reality is a continuous, dynamic process. You need to stay engaged, stay aware, stay intentional. Let me ask you this: how often do you check in with yourself and your energy? How often do you pause to ask, am I aligned with the reality I want to create right now? Because life has a way of pulling us back into old patterns, old ways of thinking, and old vibrations. Without consistent awareness, it's easy to fall into unconscious habits that don't serve us. So, to sustain your power, you must make a habit of regularly checking in with your mental, emotional, and energetic state. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through daily reflection. Every day, take a few moments to reflect on your thoughts, emotions, and experiences. Ask yourself, what kind of energy am I putting out into the world? Are you radiating abundance, love, and gratitude? Or are you slipping back into fear, doubt, and scarcity? This practice of daily reflection helps you stay aligned with the reality you want to create. It's like steering a ship. You need to constantly adjust your course to make sure you're heading in the right direction. But reflection is only part of the equation. To truly expand your power to bend reality, you need to actively raise your vibration. The higher your vibration, the more easily you can influence the world around you. So, how do you raise your vibration? Through the energy you embody. This means consciously choosing thoughts, emotions, and actions that align with the highest version of yourself. For example, let's talk about thoughts. Every thought you think carries a certain vibration. Positive, empowering thoughts carry a high vibration, while negative, limiting thoughts carry a low vibration. The more high vibration thoughts you think, the more you attract high vibration experiences into your life. But it's not enough to simply think positive, you need to believe it. You need to embody the energy of those thoughts. So, when you catch yourself thinking a limiting thought, don't just suppress it, question it. Ask yourself, is this thought serving me? Is it aligned with the reality I want to create? If the answer is no, let it go and replace it with a thought that does serve you. But raising your vibration isn't just about your thoughts. It's also about your emotions. Emotion is the language of the universe. The emotions you feel are the vibrations you're sending out into the world, and the universe responds to those vibrations by bringing you experiences that match them. So, if you want to bend reality in a positive direction, you need to cultivate positive emotions: joy, love, gratitude, excitement, peace. But here's the key: you don't have to wait for external circumstances to feel these emotions. You can generate them from within right now. You can choose to feel joy, even if things aren't going perfectly in your life. You can choose to feel gratitude, even if you haven't manifested everything you want yet. And the more you practice generating these emotions, the more you'll see your external reality start to shift to match them. Let me ask you, what emotions are you choosing to feel on a daily basis? Are they emotions that align with the reality you want to create? If not, this is an opportunity to shift. Remember, you are the architect of your reality. You have the power to choose how you feel in every moment, and in doing so, you're choosing the kind of reality you want to experience. Now, let's talk about action. Because while your thoughts and emotions are incredibly powerful, action is the bridge between the inner and outer worlds. It's how you bring your internal desires into physical form. But here's where a lot of people get stuck. They take action from a place of fear, doubt, or desperation. And when you take action from that energetic state, you create more of the same. So, to bend reality, you need to take inspired action that comes from a place of alignment, faith, and trust. Inspired action feels different from forced action. It feels light, joyful, and effortless. It's the kind of action that flows naturally when you're in alignment with your higher self. So, how do you know if you're taking inspired action? Ask yourself, does this action feel expansive or constrictive? Does it feel like it's moving me closer to the reality I want to create? Or does it feel like I'm trying to force something to happen? When you take action from a place of flow and trust, you're not just moving towards your desires, you're inviting your desires to come to you. But here's another thing to remember: the universe rewards boldness. Sometimes, bending reality requires you to take bold, courageous action. It requires you to step outside your comfort zone and do things you've never done before. And yes, this can feel scary. But fear is just a sign that you're expanding. It's a sign that you're stepping into a new level of power. So don't let fear stop you. Use it as fuel to propel you forward. Because the more you step into the unknown, the more the universe will meet you with opportunities, synchronicities, and magic that you never could have predicted. Let me ask you, what bold action are you avoiding right now that could help you bend your reality? What's that one thing you know you need to do, but fear is holding you back? This is your invitation to take that leap, to trust that the universe will catch you. Because here's the final truth: the universe is always conspiring in your favor. It wants to see you succeed. It wants to see you thrive. It's constantly giving you signs, nudges, and opportunities to help you bend your reality. But you need to be willing to listen, to trust, and to act. So, as you move forward from here, remember, you are the architect of your reality. You have the power to shape your world through your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and your energy. You are not a passive participant in life, you are an active creator. And the more you step into that role, the more you'll see that reality is not something that happens to you. It's something you create, moment by moment, day by day, with every thought, emotion, and action. So, let me leave you with one final question. Are you ready to fully step into your power as the architect of your reality and create a life beyond your wildest dreams? And that's it. Your new reality awaits.